Today, I am going to walk you through the 4 things you need to do to land a higher paying job in the next 30 days. This is not theory. I'm going to walk you through everything that you need to do so you understand how to stop getting hiring managers to reject your resume, how to find thousands of jobs literally that you can apply to in 30 minutes or less every day. And then I'm going to show you how to interview, what hiring managers are looking for when they interview, what questions they're going to ask you, and why they're asking those questions and how you should answer. And then finally, I'm going to talk to you about how you can easily send a 3-sentence email and get $2,000 to $10,000 more from every written job offer that you get. So that's what I'm going to be sharing today. So if you're sick and tired of your resume getting rejected, you're applying to jobs and you are not getting anyone to respond back to you, or you are not getting interviews, or you're constantly getting rejection letters, I'm going to tell you why that's happening so you can stop it. If you are someone who is saying to themselves, man, the job market is tight and there are no jobs out there, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you really quickly how you can find literally several thousand jobs that do exactly what you want to do, making what you want to make. I'm going to show you how to find those in seconds so you can then start to apply to those jobs. And I'm going to tell you how many jobs you should be applying to, because I had a meeting this morning with a client, and the volume of applications is so low, there's no way that he's going to get hired in time. I don't care what your skill set is. If you don't understand what the hire timeline is, which I'm going to explain to you today, then it's going to be a challenge for you. And then so many people are interviewing, they're just not getting offers. Like, I'm getting interviews, but I don't know why everybody's telling me they've decided to go with another candidate. Well, that's because you're not interviewing correctly, right? You don't know what the job interview is about. And I'm going to explain to you what the job interview is about so you can stop getting rejected. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. So grab a pen and a piece of paper or something to write with. I am going to share with you exactly how to make this happen. This is not theory. This is something that if you follow this plan, follow this process, it will work for you. Now, this is the same process that I have people on my Fast Track program follow. Okay. I'll talk to you about what the Fast Track program is about at the end, but this is the exact same thing they do. So I'm going to make a claim here, and I want you to, and I'm going to back it up by the information that I'm going to share. If you want to land a job, have written job offers, multiple written job offers in your email box from companies that will be paying you more than what you're making right now. If you want that to happen in the next 30 days or less, you can definitely do it. And I'm going to show you how I help people on my Fast Track program do this exact same thing. There are 4 things that you have to do. 4 things you need to understand, and 4 things you have to do in order to make this happen. If you don't do these things in order, right, it's not going to happen to you. And the problem that most candidates have is, 1, they don't know what the process looks like. And number 2, they're not committing to the process, so they're not getting any results. All right. So I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Now, you may be asking yourself, who is this guy live? I see his content, but who is this guy? What is he all about? I'm going to explain to you who I am in just a second. And what I'm going to do on all of the platforms is I am going to pin my email address in the chat on Facebook and on Instagram, so you guys can have it. And then we can go from there. By the way, I am doing free resume reviews today. So if you want me to review your resume for free, I'll review it for free. On TikTok, my email address is right above my head, daniel@dscds.com. All right. So if you are someone, you're sick and tired of applying to jobs and no one is calling you back. If you're tired of that, then I want you to type "I'm tired" in the chat, because I'm going to tell you why it's happening. Okay? And if you do what I'm about to share with you, if you do it, it'll stop happening for you for the rest of your career, right? Like, I'm an expert at helping people get jobs. That's what I do. Okay. And that's what I've been doing for 35, 36 years. So my experience is, my expertise is, I have been the talent acquisition leader for every organization that I work for the past 35 years, 36 years. Okay. I design and manage the entire hire life cycle, meaning when a hiring manager needs to hire for a job, they come to my office and tell me what they're looking for. I put the job description and the pay range package together, get their approval, and then I will post it in what we call a requisition in the applicant tracking system. That requisition, which is a job, then goes to our job board on our career site. And then that goes over 6 to 8 hours after I post it in our applicant tracking system. 6 to 8 hours later, it goes over to the job boards, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed.com, Glassdoor, and all of the other job boards that we are connected to. You then see that job, okay? And then you decide to apply to that job, okay? And then once you apply to that job, your resume and information comes back to me or someone on my team, right? And then what we are responsible for doing is reviewing your qualifications and either saying, yes, you can interview with the hiring manager, or no, you can't, right? And the reason why we do that is because we are looking at your qualification based on what the hiring manager is telling us they want from someone. If you don't have those qualifications, we will throw your resume in the trash can. Just telling you, I'm just being straightforward with you, okay? So in order for you to stop hiring managers and recruiters from rejecting you, you have to show them what they want to see. I'm going to tell you what we want to see the moment we pick up your resume and what your resume may be missing, okay? Once you get an interview, those interview questions that the hiring manager asks you, I'm the one that provides those questions to them. I provide a list of anywhere from 12 to 15 questions that every hiring manager can pick from to ask you questions to find out the 4 critical things that are important to see if you're fit for the team. If the hiring manager decides they want to make you an offer, I'm the one that does your verbal offer. And if you accept the verbal offer, I'm the one that does your written offer. Your written offer with your benefits, start date, position title, everything. And then I'm the one that gets you to e-sign it, and I'll launch your background check and your drug test. I'll have you complete the application, and then I get you over to HR for your onboarding, and then you start on your first day, and usually I'm the one that's there doing your new hire orientation, or someone on the HR team doing your new hire orientation. So you don't understand the process. So what I do every day here on these lives, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or if it's a replay on YouTube or LinkedIn, I explain to you what the process is so you understand it. And you can see yourself throughout the process and figure out what you have to fix. Because if you don't fix it, what is happening to you right now, it will not change. At the end of this live, I will share with you some of the options that I provide to help you. But let's get started. I'm going to talk to you first. So first, the number one thing that you need to understand, and the only thing you need to understand right now, is if you want to get a higher paying job, right? Number one, you have to get noticed by a hiring manager and recruiter. And that is through your resume. Okay? You have to. I talked to a guy who was on my fast track program today. He is a nuclear environmental expert. He's an environmental science expert. Okay? And so he just joined the fast track program and has been frustrated. He's been applying the job for the last year and has not gotten any hiring manager interviews. And he's gotten one recruiter interview, and he doesn't know why. First problem he has, and the first thing I fixed for him, is his resume did not position him to be the expert that he actually is. 15 years experience. He's an environmental protection expert, right? His issue was his resume. And he says, what's the issue? Well, your resume, even though you have this expertise, you're not telling hiring managers what they want to see. They're not. You're not. Every hiring manager wants to see 4 things primarily. Definitely 3, and I've added a 4th to the resumes that we take care of so people can get more interviews. Number 1, and I want to explain it to you in this way. I give this analogy all the time. Imagine you have a leak in your sink in your kitchen. Under your sink in your kitchen, you have a leak, right? and it's destroying your expensive hardwood floors in your house. And you get on the phone and you call around and you ask where for plumbers, right? You're calling plumber, where are plumbers at? And you get a knock on your door and 3 people show up at your door, right? One has on a plain white t-shirt and they have a belt that looks like a plumber's belt, right, with tools. Nothing's on the t-shirt. Another one shows up with a gray t-shirt on, and he doesn't have any writing on it, and he has on the same kind of belt, looks like a plumber belt. And then a third person is standing there as well, and he has on an all black t-shirt with a plumber's belt, but across the top of it, his t-shirt, it says expert plumber. That's what it says, expert plumber. Who are you going to let in your house? You're probably going to let the guy who has expert plumber across his shirt in the house, even though the other 2 people may have a lot more experience. Why did you let this person in? Because they told you what they do, and you knew that they can help you solve their problem, your problem, right? So you have a plumbing issue. This person clearly told you they're a plumber, right? So that is the person you're going to pick. That is what's happening to your resume. Your resume is like the person with the plain white t-shirt or the plain gray t-shirt. It's just a resume. It doesn't tell a hiring manager anything. Okay? You think it's telling a hiring manager what they want to know, but it's not. Your resume must be clear. Like plumber, it has to be right across the top of your resume. If they don't see that, if we don't see that, you're forcing us to try to figure out what you do, and we're not going to figure it out. We're just going to throw your resume to the side. I'm telling you what's happening. Okay? So you're submitting your resume to a ton of jobs and no one is calling you back. The reason why is because you are like the person in that white shirt or that gray shirt. It does not tell anybody what you do. You hope we look at your expertise and then try to figure out what you do, but we're not going to do that. We're not. I'm telling you, we're not going to look through your resume. We're not. We want to see it right up front. The second thing that's important that every hiring manager wants to know is how long you've done it. So if it says expert plumber with 20 years of experience, that's even greater. What does that do? It builds trust. Wait a minute. This person is an expert plumber. They have 20 years experience. They are someone I can trust. So if you don't tell hiring managers how many years experience you have, they do not trust you. You won't be trusted. So best case scenario is they'll put your resume to the side, and if they find someone else who is telling them how many years experience they have, then they'll pick that person and throw your resume in the trash can. Okay? The third thing a hiring manager wants to know is how good are you at doing it? So if that shirt said expert plumber with 20 years experience serving 20,000 customers, now you are willing to pay this person top dollar because they just proved their expertise as it relates to the job that you need someone to do just by what they said on their t-shirt, and they didn't even talk to you yet. This is your problem. Hiring managers do not see proof of your expertise. They don't see it. You think you have it written on your resume by putting it in your job history, but hiring managers don't read resumes, so we don't look at job history. Okay? So the first problem you have is you are not proving to hiring managers by your captivating headline that you are the solution to their problem. So they're going to throw your resume in the trash. It's not going to stop. Okay? And then you are not positioning yourself as the solution to meet their need. What do I mean by positioning? Every hiring manager is trying to hire someone because they need help. Okay? And they're trying to figure out if you can help them. All right? So there's only 2 ways for them to figure that out. You can tell them how you can help them, or you have to hope they look through your resume to determine how you've helped someone else and make that determination about how you can help them. I can tell you right now They're not going to look through your resume to try to figure it out. They will not try to figure out how you can help them. So you have to tell them right up front. Okay? So that plumber's t-shirt will be expert plumber, 20 years experience, taking care of 20,000 customers in my career. I help you fix any leaky sink in your house. Right? That's essentially what the t-shirt says. That's how your resume should read. I'm an expert talent acquisition pro with 35 years experience hiring 4,000 to 6,000 people a year. And I help you eliminate turnover, increase the quality of candidates, and hire people faster. The hiring manager doesn't even need to read the rest of my resume if that's what they see. You don't even need to know the things that the plumber does if you see that on the t-shirt. Your resume, if it's missing that, no one will call you and it won't change. I don't care how many jobs you apply to. It's not going to stop. So I do free resume reviews every single day. And when I review people's resumes, I tell them this is what you need to change. If you don't change this on your resume, and I tell you what it is, if you don't change this on your resume, you're not going to stop getting rejection emails. So the first 100 people who email me a copy of their resume today during this live, I'll review your resume for free, and I'll tell you what needs to be tweaked. I'll tell you exactly what you need to add and what's missing. Okay, I'll tell you that. All right. So your resume is not a biography. Okay, now I'm going to do something for you guys right now. I'm going to show you the power of what I'm talking about. I'm going to do it for you. So what I want you to do is I want you to type in the chat what your skill set or job title is right now. For the first 30 people, 25 to 30 people, I am going to show you what hiring managers are looking for when they look at your resume. The very first thing, that if this is on your resume, they will stop and call you because you've just told them everything they want to know. The 4 things that I just talked about. Okay. So I see you guys are starting to type in the chat. So health systems manager, type your job title in the chat. Okay. And I am going to tell you exactly what a hiring manager wants to see that makes them stop and call you. I'm going to use an example of the guy that I worked with this morning first. Okay. So he's struggling. Struggling. That's why he's on a fast track program. And so what he is an environmental protection expert. That's what he is. An environmental protection expert. All right. Now, I asked him a couple of questions this morning. Okay. I said to him, talk to me. Tell me what your skills are. Because he was thinking it's only nuclear. That's what he's been doing. I said, you got to talk to me about what you actually do in terms of your skill. He was struggling to tell me the expert skill he has. And he was going over and over again. So this is what I said. I said, I want you to imagine you're talking to a group of 5th graders, right? 10, 11 years old. And I want you to explain to them, treat me like I'm them, explain to them what you do. He says, well, there are 5 pillars. I said, stop. No 5th grader wants to know those 5 pillars. What do you do? Right? They don't want to know. This is your problem you have. You're overcomplicating the explanation of your expertise. I said, if I walked into a room of 5th graders and I told them what I do, this is what I would say. I help people like your mom and dad get jobs. That's it. That's it. That's the only thing I do. Right? Now, all of the things that I do that are associated with it, the bottom line is I help people like your mom and dad get jobs. If you can't explain it like that, you're in trouble. Okay? If you can't make it that plain, you're in trouble. Nobody's going to call you. This is exactly what you got to treat hiring managers like they're 5th graders in terms of explaining, right? So I asked him, I said, tell me, you are an environmental an environmental protection expert, right? This is what I told him. Now, even though he does nuclear, I said you can do oil and gas, you can do air, you can do manufacturing, you can do a lot of different things. But you have to understand that when you explain it to a fifth grader, you simply say, I'm an environmental protection expert, and I help keep the environment clean. That's it. You don't go into all of these details about how you do that, right? And you say, I help you ensure environmental compliance, reduce ecological risk, and improve sustainability initiatives by implementing data-driven environmental protection strategies. Or you can say, I help reduce environmental impact by 20 to 40% through conservation initiatives, waste reduction strategies, and sustainable operational practices. That's exactly what this guy does. But if you can't explain it like this on your resume right up front, no one's going to call you. No one is going to call you. I'm telling you right now. Okay. So let's just test it out. Again, 20 to 25 people, type your job title in, or the thing you do, type it in the chat. I see it on Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok. I see you guys are typing in. So health systems manager. This is what you need to tell hiring managers, how you are the solution to their problem. Nike does this exact same thing. So when Nike is trying to sell us a shoe, it doesn't say we have a brand new shoe that's coming out May 15th of 2026. It's made of canvas, rubber, has laces, and is a size 10. Buy it. That's not what Nike says. Nike says we have a brand new shoe coming out May 15th of 2026. It is going to help you run faster, jump higher, look better, and win, right? That's what Nike says. It tells us if you buy this shoe, this is the outcome you will get. This is where you're failing. You need to be telling hiring managers, if you hire me, this is the outcome you will get if you hire me. Health systems manager. I help you improve healthcare operations, support 100 to 500 plus daily patient interactions, and increase efficiency by 20 to 30% through strategic system management and process optimization. Or you can say, I help you improve patient outcomes and satisfaction by optimizing workflows, enhancing communication, and supporting efficient healthcare delivery. That's what hiring managers want to know. But you're not telling them that on your resume. You're trying to make them read all of the information that you put in your duties and responsibilities, and they're not going to do it. That's why they don't call you. That's why you get passed over. That's why your resume gets thrown in the trash. Because no one wants to read a technical document. They want to know right up front, I see you applied, how are you going to help me? That's all they care about. Okay? And until you understand this, nothing will change. Right? Occupational health and safety. Right? This is exactly what they want to see. And if they don't see this, they're going to pass over you. All right? And if you're failing to communicate it, you got problems. All right, so occupational health and safety expert. I help you reduce workplace incidents by 25 to 40% and maintain 100% regulatory compliance and create a safer work environment through proactive health and safety programs. Or you can say, I help you build a strong safety culture by training 50 to 300 plus employees on workplace safety standards and incident prevention strategies. That's what I help you do. Like if you want that for your organization, hire me because that's what I do. But you're failing to tell people what you do. So they don't call you. And this is one of the reasons why they do not call you. Okay? So we have workflow specialist on TikTok. So if you're an expert workflow specialist, right, and you want to communicate to the hiring manager why they should call you, why they should pick up your resume or pick your resume over everyone else, you need to show them what you do to help them succeed. So you say, as a workforce specialist or expert, I help you improve workflow efficiency by 20 to 35%. I help you reduce processing delays and streamline operations through process optimization and system improvements. Or you can say, I help you increase team productivity and operational output by standardizing workflows and improving task coordination across all departments. That's what you should be saying. But guess what? If your resume doesn't say that, it's going to get thrown in the trash can. Human Resources Coordinator. I call this your value statement. It's the top 3 things that every hiring manager wants to see. What you do, how long you've done it, how good you are doing it, and what value do you bring to the table? What value will you add if we hire you? Right? You're not communicating that. So guess what? They're not going to call you. All right? So, Human Resources Coordinator. I help you support 100 to 500 plus employees, streamline HR operations, and improve onboarding efficiency through organized, compliant HR coordination. Or you can say, I help you maintain 99% accurate employee records and ensure compliance with HR policies, labor laws, and documentation requirements. That's what an HR coordinator does, right? And that's what you should be telling hiring managers you do. But since you don't tell hiring managers that, they don't call you. Now, if this is helpful to you on each one of the screens, TikTok, Facebook, and TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, just tap the screen 30 times really quickly so we can get the likes up and it can spread out to the rest of the platform. So I'm going to continue to do this for a couple more people. You're a project manager. Project manager. Okay? So if you're a project manager and you're trying to communicate to a hiring manager how you are the solution to their problem, which then makes them want to call you and talk to you. By the way, you think that a hiring manager looks through your entire resume to determine if they want to talk to you. They don't. In fact, we don't read the whole resume. We only skim and scan in about 10 seconds. And if we see what we want to see in that first 10 seconds, we will then call you. The pre-screen with the recruiter is designed to go over your qualifications in more detail. We don't go over your qualifications in detail when you apply to the job. We go over your qualifications in detail, and it's a high flyover when we do the pre-screen. That's the purpose of a pre-screen, not the hiring manager interview. So, step 1 should be, what can I put on my resume to make them call me for a pre-screen? That's step 1. That's what I'm showing you right now. Step 2, which we're going to talk about in just a second, what kind of information should I be sharing in the pre-screen to prove that what I told them that made them call me, that I can do that? And then step 3 is the hiring manager interview, and I'll talk to you about what that is about in just a second. You're missing this. The reason why people on my Fast Track program, they may not have had an interview for 8 months, like Ron. The reason why they get 4 interviews on average the second week within 7 to 10 days of being on my Fast Track program is because of this. This is why. Because I know what hiring managers want to see. I learned it 28 years ago when I was a senior recruiter in a customer service call center, and they were telling me no about your resume. It wasn't until I pulled everybody in a meeting and said, we're not going to get this training class filled. What am I missing? And they said these words to me. I see what you're saying, Daniel, about these candidates, but I don't see it on their resume. And if I don't see it on their resume, I'm not going to pick them. So I decided, what? Wait a minute. So if I just add what they're telling me to their resume, they will then start wanting to talk to these people? Oh my gosh, I did that, and 8 out of every 10 people that I submit get an interview. Before that, only 2 out of 10 people were getting interviews because the hiring manager didn't see it. They were saying, I hear what you're saying, but I don't see it. So they wanted to see what I was saying on the resume. So I started changing people's resumes with their permission. And once they approved the resume, I would then submit it to the hiring manager. I learned this 28 years ago. I've been doing it ever since. And then I'll take that resume that you submitted with the application. I delete it from the system and put the new resume up so nobody thinks that this is not your real experience. This is your problem. So if you're a project manager, you can say, I help you deliver projects on time and within budget by maintaining 1 to 50 million in initiatives, leading cross-functional teams, and improving operational efficiency by 20 to 30%. Or you can say, I help you control project costs, optimize resources, and improve profitability by managing multi-million-dollar budgets and timelines. Project manager. That's exactly what they want you to do as a project manager. But you're not telling them that. You don't say it. You understand? So if this is helpful to you, tap the screen for likes. I am going to answer your questions. I see you guys are asking me a lot of questions. I am going to answer those. Okay, so let me stop here for a second with respect to the resume, and I want to answer a question because I see someone asking me a question. So on Instagram, it says, Intentional says, I'm a social worker, but just want to use my master's degree to be a social worker. What jobs can I look for? Okay, so let me explain something to you really quickly. Please, everybody pay attention. No one cares about your degree. Stop leading with your degree. That's not what you should lead with. I'm not saying your degree is not important, but your degree is not the unlock. Stop leading with your degree. Now you're saying I'm a social worker. The question is, what solution are you going to provide as a social worker? Your degree backs it up, but you shouldn't be leading with your degree. Okay? So I'm going to tell you what hiring managers are looking for and what you should be saying if you are a social worker. I don't care if you have a master's degree and 59 doctorate degrees. If you don't tell hiring managers this, nobody's going to call you. The guy I talked to this morning is a PhD in nuclear environmental science. And he can't get hired. Why? Because he doesn't tell the hiring manager. He will now, but he doesn't tell the hiring manager what they want to know. So you are a social worker with a master's degree. If I were to ask you how you are going to help an organization succeed, I am sure you would have a tough time telling me. So I'm going to create it for you so you understand what it should sound like. Now, again, your degree doesn't get you in the door. Your abilities to solve and tell a hiring manager how you're there, a solution to the problem is what gets your foot in the door, and your degree supports it. Please understand that. Don't lead with your degree. Lead with the solution and back it up with the degree. This is what I tell people in college. Like whenever I go do college talks and I'm talking to graduating seniors or people who are trying to figure out a degree program, I say to them, you don't have any experience, okay? So you can't lead with your degree. You can't. Nobody cares about that. You have to show them how you are the solution to their problem and how your degree supports that. Because that's all hiring managers care about. That's why they will hire people who have a degree in an unrelated field. Your degree just shows that you can go through a program and be disciplined and be successful, right? But it doesn't mean that you can do the job. So please, I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm just trying to give you guys an understanding about what hiring managers are looking for. So if you're a social worker, you should say this. I'm an expert social worker and I help you improve client outcomes by 25 to 40%. I help you manage complex caseloads of 25 to 75 clients and connect individuals and families to critical support. My master's degree has prepared me for that. Or you can say, I help you reduce crisis situations and improve long-term stability through proactive interventions, care coordination, and ongoing support. I have a master's degree that has helped me to do that. You understand? You lead with the problem you solve and you back it up with your master's degree. You do not start with, I have a master's degree. Your master's degree does not mean you can solve the problem. Okay? Somebody asked, what advice do I have on panel interviews? I'll talk to you about that in just a second when we talk about panel interviews. Okay? Somebody asked, how many years do you need before you apply for a higher position? We'll talk about that in just a second. Okay? So we're going to do a couple more. Division of Interest Analyst. Not sure what that is. right? So if you want to tell me what that job position is, tell me. You're an interest analyst, you're an analyst, what are you, right? So analyst. Okay, so if you're an expert analyst and you are trying to prove to a hiring manager on your resume when they look at it that you are the solution to their problems so they can then get you an interview or interview you, your resume should say, I help you analyze complex data, improve operational performance by 20 to 30%, and I deliver actionable insights that support better business decisions. That's what I do as an expert analyst. Or you can say, I help you identify operational gaps, reduce inefficiencies, and improve workflows through detailed analysis and performance reporting. That's what you need to be saying if you're an analyst. So the hiring manager says, yes, this is somebody who can do what I want to have done, and then they will call you. If you don't tell them this, they will not call you. Okay? Trying to get you guys to understand this, okay? Customer care officer. Customer care officer. You're a customer care officer, and your resume has been submitted to a job, and you are trying to get hiring managers to figure out what you bring to the table and how you can help them, right? Your resume needs to clearly say this. That you don't, hiring manager is not going to figure it out. It needs to clearly say this. I am a customer care officer, and I help you improve customer satisfaction by 20+%. Handle 80 to 120 daily customer interactions and resolve issues quickly and to strengthen customer relationships and loyalty. That's what you need to be saying. So when you look at it from that perspective, when a hiring manager looks at that perspective, they're seeing, listen to me, everybody, please. They're seeing the benefit they're going to get before they have a conversation with you. When a hiring manager is about to interview you, or when they're interviewing you, they're trying to figure out, what do you bring to the table? Translate it. What benefit will I get if I exchange money for this person's expertise? You are failing to do that. You're failing to do it. So no one's going to call you. They are not going to call you. Accountant on Instagram. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more, and then I'm going to walk you through a LinkedIn search that shows you how to find thousands of jobs that you can apply to in 30 minutes. I'm going to tell you something. If you are willing to commit 30 minutes a day, just 30, not 3 hours. If you commit to 30 minutes a day, you can apply to 100 jobs and get 4 interviews every single week until you get an offer that you are so happy with you can't turn it down. 30 minutes a day. That's how little time, but you don't know what to do. So I'm going to show you why you're having problems with getting interviews besides your resume, why you're having problems with getting interviews with respect to job search. So let's say you're an accountant. You'll say, I help you maintain 99 to 100% accurate financial reporting, manage $5 to $50 million in financial operations, and identify 100 to 500,000 in cost savings through strategic accounting practices. You are telling them how you're going to help them succeed. Nike does it. This is what Nike does. You want to run faster? You want to jump higher? You want to win? Buy this shoe. And I play golf, and they'll say, if you want to hit the ball farther, buy this driver, or buy this ball, or buy this shoe. It's not the shoe is more comfortable. It's what outcome are you going to get if you buy this? So that's where you're failing. You're not telling hiring managers the outcome they will get. You are I look at 100+ resumes every day. Every day. And you guys are trying to make hiring managers figure out how you are the solution to their problem. They are not going to do it. You have to tell them, I'm an expert plumber, 20 years experience, taking care of 20,000 clients, and I fix 50,000 leaky sinks. If you want your leaky sink fixed, I'm the guy. That's essentially what that message says. Right? That's where you're failing. That's why no one is calling you. Okay? And if you don't fix this on your resume, they will not call you. I promise you that. So if you want me to review your resume for free, all you have to do is email it to me and I will review your resume for free and send you my feedback so you can start fixing your resume problem. Now, there is an option in there for me to fix it. You don't have to use me as an option. I'll tell you what that looks like. And I'll tell you what the cost is by the end of this this live, so you know. I don't want anybody to talk about, man. No, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you how, if you do what I'm telling you, how you can get $2,000 to $10,000 and be considered for $2,000 to $10,000 more than you're making right now if you just have the right resume. Okay? You show the hiring manager how you're the solution to their problem. Now, most of you have another issue. Okay? What is that issue? You have no earthly idea about the pathway your resume takes through the system. You are clueless. You don't know what's happening. You click that apply button, and then you're like, where did my resume go? What happened to my resume? Why did nobody call me? Okay, I just told you the first problem. Your resume goes into the applicant tracking system through the job board or the career site, and it comes to the ATS where a recruiter or a hiring manager will look at it to make a determination about whether or not you are the solution to their problem and whether it is worth their time to call you. If they don't feel like it's worth their time, that it is a waste of their time to pick up the phone and call you or email you to schedule you for an interview, they will not call you. And you'll be sitting at home or on that job you hate, and you'll be wondering why it's happening. I'm on this live trying to tell you, or if you're watching on the replay, I'm trying to tell you why it's happening. I'm going to tell you how to stop it. Now, many of you, you're saying to yourself, I know I have the skill. I know I have the experience. I know I have the expertise. I'm applying to jobs. Why is no one calling me? Well, we already figured out one thing. You're not getting calls because your resume is not positioned correctly, right? If you want to be pursued by hiring managers, okay, you must show proof that you have the skill. You must provide information that shows you are the value you bring to the table. And if you do those two things, proof, right? If you show them proof and you provide them with information about what you bring to the table, they will run you down. You will be pursued. We call that the 3P plan. Okay? Proof that you can do the job, right? You are going to position yourself as a solution to meet their need. That's the second P. So proof, position, pursuit. If you can prove to them and then position yourself as a solution, they will pursue you. You're having problems because you're having to submit your information and nobody's running you down. They're not saying, stop, wait. You're not being pursued because you're not showing them that you're the solution. So proof, positioning, and pursuit is what we call our 3P plan. All right, watch this. You don't know what happens to your resume. So let me explain to you what happens. When you apply to a job, whether it's on a job board or a career site, your resume goes through the internet to the applicant tracking system. It's in a database. We call the applicant tracking system. I manage it. When your resume comes into the applicant tracking system, let's say you are the first person to apply. And let's say there's 200 people who applied to the job after you. Your resume keeps going all the way down to the bottom of the pile. Okay? Now I'm going to tell you guys a secret that you will not hear anywhere else on the internet because nobody's telling you this, or I haven't heard it. When you apply to a job, let's say today is Monday if you apply today and the job was posted today. We don't look at resumes today. We won't start looking at resumes until Thursday. Let me explain to you why. Okay? What we want to do is we want to get a pile of candidates that give us the best opportunity to go through these resumes in one shot to try to get 5 to 10 good candidates to the hiring manager. Okay? We don't look at your resumes on the first day. We will usually start looking 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, Thursday. All right? And then you'll start getting phone calls on Thursday or Friday. Sometimes it's Wednesday, depending on how many people apply, but we will start looking on Thursday. Wednesday evening, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning. Okay? If your resume is at the bottom of the pile, we don't start with the first person who applied. We start with the last person who applied. So your resume, even though you may have been the first person to apply to the job, you still may never get a phone call because your resume is buried down at the bottom. If that's a surprise to you, type wow in the chat. Wow. What? I applied first? I was first in line? And they didn't look at my resume first? No, we don't. And there's nothing you can do to change that. Because what we're trying to do from a recruiting and hiring manager perspective is we're trying to get qualified candidates. We don't care where they come from, right? We're trying to find someone who is qualified. Now, here's good news. 1 out of every 10 or 12 candidates are actually qualified. So that's 10 out of every 100 applications. So it takes us 200 applications to find 20 good people. So there's a likelihood that we're going to get to you, but there is a chance that you won't get called. So if you're applying to 1 job a day, I'm just going to use this as an example. 1 job a day is 7 a week. You'll figure this out in just a second. 1 job a day is 7 a week. 2 jobs a day is 14 a week. 3 jobs a day is 21 jobs a week. 4 jobs a day. If you're applying to 4 jobs a day, you're applying to 28 to 30 jobs a week. Let me explain to you now. Listen, this is another reason why you're not getting calls and why you're getting rejection letters. So listen to me, please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you, listen to me. When you apply to 28 jobs in 1 week, 30 jobs in 1 week, I don't know how many you're applying to. Half of those jobs are already filled and they're closed. Half of them. How do I know that? The higher timeline is 4 weeks. So if you're applying to a job, if you didn't filter correctly in the job board, then what happens is you're applying to old jobs and you don't know it. Then how can I know? If you get a rejection letter within 5 minutes after you apply that says they went with somebody else, that's a closed job. Type yes, that's happened to me in the chat. If that has ever happened to you, you apply to a job, 5 minutes later, you get a, we decided to go with someone else email. That's because that job is closed. Now, let me explain to you what happens so you know. When I post a position in our applicant tracking system, in seconds, the moment I put submit in the applicant tracking system or publish, it goes to our career website. 6 to 8 hours after it goes to our career website, it then goes to the job board. 6 to 8 hours after. And that's when you see it. But listen to this. When I close the job in the applicant tracking system, close it, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Indeed.com, and all of the other job boards do not close the job or remove it from their site until 30 to 60 days after I close it. So you might be applying to a job that's 60 days old and you don't even know it. So half of the jobs that you're currently applying to, if you don't know how to filter, they're closed. So that's 28 jobs in 1 week. Let's just keep a round number, 30 jobs in 1 week. 15 of them are closed. So you're not going to get those jobs because they're already done. So that leaves you 15 potential opportunities. For half of those jobs, your resume is at the bottom of the pile. Okay? So that's another 8 jobs that you won't get considered for. So now you're down to 8 jobs. Okay? 4 of those jobs, half of those jobs, they're going to think your resume stinks because you didn't do your resume correctly. So that means you're down to 4 jobs. Okay? Half of those jobs are not going to pay what you want. So now you're down to 2 jobs. You see why nobody's calling you? You're not applying to enough jobs in a week. You're not applying to them correctly. So no one's going to call you. This is a big major issue for candidates. So on my fast track program, the minimum number of jobs that a person has to apply to, and they must commit 30 minutes a day only, is 90 jobs a day. 90. If you have that, and by the way, all of the jobs that they're applying to, they're open because I tell them how to filter. So if half of those 90 jobs a day don't like them, they still have 45. If half of those jobs say you're at the bottom of the pile, okay, they still have 23, okay? Which is why they get 4 job interviews in week 2. And every week they follow the same process, they get 4 jobs, which is why at the end of 30 days, they have 2 to 4 high-paying job offers. If their resume is correct and they're applying to enough jobs in volume that match exactly what they want to do, paying what they want to make, and they apply to the jobs in volume, like I just said, they are going to get interviews, which is why people get jobs so fast when they use my fast track program. And it's not a self-guided program. I'm the one that walks you through every part of the process. I do all of your coaching, all of your interview prep. You don't have to worry about none of that. I do your offer prep. You don't accept an offer until you talk to me first, right? That's how it works. So that's your problem. You're not applying to enough jobs. You think, and then here's another problem. You are on a job board and you're saying to yourself, I don't trust this job board. So instead of doing the easy apply, quick apply application, you go over to the company's website and spend 35 minutes filling out an application. Greg, I'm going to tell you what it costs in just a second. It's going to blow your mind. You're going to be like, what? Is that it? Yes. You go over to the company's website, you spend 35 minutes filling out an application. And guess what? Whether your resume comes from a job board or from the career website, it comes into the applicant tracking system. And all we really want is your resume anyway. So don't waste your time filling out the long applications on these career sites at the company's website. It's a waste of time. I know it because I'm a recruiter. That's what I do all day. I look at applications all day, every day, and have been for the past 36 years. Yes. You're wasting your time by filling out the long application. All right. So the issue you're having is your resume doesn't show hiring managers how you are the solution to their problem. Number 2, you're not applying to enough jobs and you're not filtering the job search correctly. And I'm going to show you one other thing really quickly. You're saying to yourself, Daniel, the job market is tight. There aren't that many jobs open. I'm going to prove to you that there are thousands of jobs open that you can, when you walk off of this live, you can start applying to those jobs right now. You just don't know how to search for jobs, but I'm going to tell you. Okay. So I have a client. His name is Ron. He just graduated from Fast Track program in April. Ron is a senior sales account manager, and he had been looking for a job for 8 months. Got a severance because he got laid off, but that severance ran out and his unemployment was running out. He was desperate. So he came to me in February. Daniel, I don't know what to do. Got to pay his mortgage, got to feed his family, got to take care. And he's 55. So he thinks, man, I think I'm starting to see what ageism is all about. So I said to him, Ron, there is no such thing as ageism. Okay. People think it is, but it's not. You're not being aged out. Okay. He says, well, I don't know if you can help me. Can you? I've been looking for jobs. I don't know if, I said, well, maybe I can. I think I can. So he said, okay, I'm going to make the investment and I'm going to jump on the fast track program. Okay. And I said, okay, all right, let's get started. Step one, send me your resume. Once he signed up, I fixed his resume. That problem has been solved. Step number two, I said, now we're going to go to LinkedIn. I'm going to help you fix your LinkedIn profile so it's a magnet. So hiring managers and recruiters pursue you. That's the second thing we did. Then we uploaded that new resume to LinkedIn and took all of his other resumes and deleted them. And then I said, okay, now I'm going to show you how to get hiring managers to chase you down. I'm going to show you how to apply to jobs in volume. And all you have to do is give me 30 minutes a day. Can you do that? Can you commit to 30 minutes a day if it's going to change your life? He says, Dan, I can do it. I said, okay. First thing I want you to do is show me how you search. So Ron typed in his previous job title, Senior Sales Account Manager. Okay, Senior Sales Account Manager was making $120,000 a year. That is what his previous job title was. When he typed that into when he typed that into what he was looking for in terms of jobs, I'm sorry, I have to reset this. Senior Sales Account Manager. He typed that into the search. Okay. Let's go United States. So Senior Sales Account Manager in the United States. Listen, please. The number of searches that came back without any filters was 3,077 jobs. So I told him, just like I told you, I said, Ron, we now see in an open search for the way you normally do it, there's 3,077 jobs. Half of those jobs are closed. So that takes us down to 1,500. He says, what do you mean? I said, because we haven't filtered yet. Most of those jobs are older than 30 days old, so they're closed. He says, I said, have you ever applied to one of these jobs and within 5 minutes you got an email back that says, thank you very much for applying. We've decided to go with someone else. Feel free to apply to other jobs. He said, yes. I said, well, the reason why this is happening is because when your resume hit the applicant tracking system, I created an automatic message that says anybody that applies to a closed job, this is the message you need to send back to them. And that's what you've been getting. You've been getting that automated message that says the position is closed. Apply to something else. Your resume is not even in the applicant tracking system. We don't even know that you're alive and breathing, right? He says, what? Yes. I said, so you got to filter it properly. So half of those jobs are closed. And then I said to him, half of those jobs are below your level of expertise. You're senior, mid-level, and director. Some of them are below that. So they're not going to be paying $120,000 that you want. So we got to sort it by experience level. And then we got to sort it by the easiest way to apply. When we did all of that, it came down to 18 jobs. I said, is this all you've been getting? He said, yeah. I said, Ron, that's why nobody's calling you. There's not enough applications here for you to do anything. It's going to take you forever. And then I said this, listen to me. Every 30 days you don't get hired. Let's say you apply to a job on May 1st. If you do not get that job by June 1st, that job is closed and you have to start all over again. And that cycle continues over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I said, that's why you haven't found a job in 8 months. You haven't been applying to enough jobs to impact your search enough to get enough people to call you back because your resume is at the bottom of the pile. They didn't like your resume. They're 3 weeks in. They already hired somebody else. You're going through that same cycle every 30 days. You think, like I had a guy tell me today, man, I've applied to 20 jobs in the last year. I said, man, you may as well not apply to any. 0. That's why nobody's calling you. 20 jobs a year? Nobody's going to call you. You have to apply to 100 jobs a day. Because resumes, Applications is about marketing. It's not about applying to a job. You're applying to come. Well, I want to work here. I said, okay, I know you want to work there, but what if they don't want to work with you? You're not giving yourself the best opportunity. So Ron was going through this cycle. You are going through this exact same cycle. Apply. No one responds. You're waiting. It's closed. Apply. No one responds. You're waiting. It's closed. You're going through that same cycle over and over again. Every 30 days, when you don't get hired, you have to go back through the exact same process. Maybe you get selected. Maybe you get interviewed, but they reject you. 3 weeks later, have to go back through the same process over and over and over and over. It's a roller coaster. That's exactly what's happening to you. Okay? And it's because you don't know how to search. So he says, well, what should I be doing? So I said, Ron, we're going to do a search the way I teach people how to search. Okay? On the Fast Track program, you don't search for jobs this way. He says, what do I do? I said, Ron, we don't put in senior sales account manager. We just put in the function of the work, which is sales. And when we put in the function of the work, 478,530 jobs came back. And when we sorted that by jobs that have been posted within the last 30 days, 346,000 jobs came up. So now we know that these jobs are open. Just that one simple trick, one simple tip got him off of that roller coaster. So what was Ron's results? Ron decided to follow the Fast Track program to the T. I told him, you got to give me 30 minutes a day. I'm not asking for 3 hours a day. You don't have to prep yourself for an interview. I'm going to do that. You don't have to prep yourself for an offer. You don't have to fix your resume. You don't have to worry about your LinkedIn profile. I'm going to get you set up for success. You just have to commit to 30 minutes a day. 30. Not an hour, not 3 hours, none of that. 30 minutes, man. Can you do that? Can you give me 30 minutes a day to change your life? Oh, you can? Okay, great. So that's what Ron decided to do. True story. So Ron decided that he was going to commit 30 minutes a day. In week 2, Ron had 4 initial screens. At the end of week 3, he had 2 written offers, but he had 3 more initial screens. And he says, Dan, I don't want to accept these offers until I meet with these other 2 companies. And I said, good, just tell them you need a day or 2, which he did. So he interviewed on Monday and Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, which was April 6th and April 7th. He had the final interviews, and he got 2 more offers. So he had 4 offers in 30 days. And he sent me this email, right? He finally sent me an email back to let me know what the progress was. Because what I do on the Fast Track program is we meet every week, every Monday. They have to meet. We meet in a group. I do interview prep for every single person. Why do I do that? It's because I want to make sure that you're following the process. 30 minutes a day. And if you can't do that, you're not serious about getting a job. 30 minutes a day. That's it. Okay? And so Ron sent me a message, which I'm going to read to you in just a second after my computer stops acting funny. And I'm going to tell you exactly what Ron said. But the problem you're having is if your resume stinks, right? Meaning it doesn't show hiring managers what they're looking for. You don't tell them what you bring to the table. You haven't shown them how you are the solution to their problem. If you are searching for jobs and you're only searching for 20 jobs a week or applying to 20 jobs a week, 30 jobs a week, you're not doing 100 a day, 630 in a week. If you're not doing at least 630 to 700 jobs per week, and that only takes 30 minutes per day, if you're not doing that, you're not going to get results. It's not going to happen because I just told you what happens to your resume when it goes through the process. So after Ron went through his 30 days on the Fast Track program, and this happens with everyone, Ron sent me this message back on 4/7 after his final interview with this company on 4/7 at 4:17 p.m. on 4/7. He says, "Hey, Coach Dan, I want to let you know that I accepted a position. I know you wanted to have a chat with me because he knows you can't accept an offer without talking to me first. But I had done a couple with him, so I trusted him. All right. So he says, I know you wanted to chat, but honestly, they met everything I requested in terms of my salary, vacation, and all of that. Okay, hold on. This is trying to fix itself. Okay, good. Let me fix it. All right. Yeah, he says, I know you wanted to meet, but honestly, they met everything I requested in terms of salary, vacation days, holidays, investment in their pension plan. My new role will be as commercial manager in the medical business unit, as commercial and with commercial responsibilities over 6 shared locations with customer service managers and operational teams who do not report directly into the medical business unit. Coach Daniel, listen, he says, your program is outstanding, and I will be more than happy to provide an exceptional endorsement. Coach, your formula really does work. Thank you. Best regards, Ron. $140,000 a year. 55 years old. Thought he was aged out of the market. The issue was he just didn't understand the process, like many of you don't. And he was going through this cycle of apply to a low volume of jobs, not searching for the right jobs, submitting the wrong resume, applications getting rejected, and he had no idea about how to get off that Ferris wheel. And that's because nobody comes on and tells you what the behind the scenes is. They have no idea. They don't tell you. So I try to come on live and tell you exactly what this is all about. Now, I have another meeting. I have to jump off here in about 5 minutes. About 10 minutes. I'm gonna answer some of your questions. So if you have a question, I want you to leave it in the chat. I am going to tell you the solutions that I provide and what it costs. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not going to hide anything from you. I'm going to tell you. Okay, so if you want me to review your resume, you can email it to me. That is free. It's Daniel@dscds.com. 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 If you say when I send you a response that you want me, you can fix the resume yourself, but you want me to fix it. Okay? Our top package, which is resume, cover letter, LinkedIn optimized copy of your resume, and you will get my top 50 interview questions and answers cheat sheet. All of that I just mentioned to you, that will get you $2,000 to $10,000 more in every offer you get. It's less than $98. One time. It's just $98. That's it. Okay? And if you decide you wanted to send me an email to get the resume done, you get 5% off today. So I think it's like $93 to get all of that. $93 to get $2,000 to $10,000 more in an offer in the next 30 days. Okay? So that's the resume plan. Now, many of you are asking me, how much is this fast track program? Is it self-guided? No, it's not self-guided. I'm the one that's going to walk you through it, and you have to do exactly what I'm telling you to do. It's my 30-day program where I walk you through from day one. We have another fast track starting today. From day 1 to day 30, you will have 2 to 4 job offers in your inbox that you can sign for a new job in 30 days. Well, Daniel, how much does it cost? To get started, it's $124.25. And it's $124.25 a month for 4 months. Daniel, wait a minute. Am I going to get a job in 30 days? Yes. I trust the process so much that I say, if you want to get started, it's $125. And you're going to get a job, so you just pay the other $125 a month for the next 3 months, and you're done. So it's a total of $500 for you to find a job. I'm going to help you get $2,000 to $10,000 more from a job. There is zero risk for you. Zero. Zero. That's how confident I am in the program, right? It's $500, but I let you pay it out over 4 months. I have limited slots. So if you're someone who says, I want to jump on your fast track program so you can be my recruiter and help me find a job in the next 30 days, all you have to do is send me an email. And in the email, type fast track. And I'll send you a link that tells you everything, and you can do whatever you want. It's completely up to you. I only have limited slots every single week. I let 7 people sign up a week. That's it. I can't do more than that. Okay? The Fast Track program does come with me fixing your resume. The Fast Track program does come with me walking you through how to fix your LinkedIn profile. The Fast Track program does come with me showing you how to search and apply to 100 jobs every single day. The only commitment you have to make is give me 30 minutes a day of your time. That's it. If you apply to jobs the way that I tell you to apply to jobs in 30 minutes, and you can walk away, go have your coffee, go work out, go to work, go do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. And you come back in the afternoon, you will have people that say, I would like to interview you. And when you have an interview, you will have my text. You will text me and say, Daniel, I have an interview coming up. Can I schedule a prep session? I will schedule a Zoom prep session with you. And in 15 minutes, I'll tell you every question they're going to ask you, how to answer every question, every detail about the job, and how to land the job. When you get an offer in your email, you'll say, Daniel, I just got an offer, just like Ron. What do I do? You'll call me. You and I will look over the entire offer, and I will tell you, accept it, or I will say, send an email back, this 3-sentence email, and they'll give you an additional $6,000 or $2,000 guaranteed without you losing the offer. I'll show you exactly how to do that. Yes, all of that comes with the Fast Track program, okay? The other thing that I offer is, you may say, man, I want ongoing support. Can you? I offer a membership, just like a gym membership. It's access to all of this information, just like a gym membership. It's $39.99 a month. My Fast Track program information, the cheat sheet, my Total Career Makeover book, like every book that I've written, every guide that I've written, and interview prep, all of that is in there. How to negotiate pay, what you should know before you go, all of that is in the membership that you have access to 365 days a year for just $39.99 a month. Now, I want to answer your questions. So if you have a question, you can leave it in the chat, okay, and I'll be more than happy. So Bakari says, does it work in Canada? Yes, I work with clients in 32 different countries. So we have clients in 32 different countries. The nuclear environmental expert that I talked about today, he's in Japan. Okay? He's in Japan. He's working to try to find a job in Austria. I showed him today how to find jobs in Austria on LinkedIn. So yes, it works everywhere. All right? Will the Fast Track program work if I want a remote job? Yes, I'll show you exactly how to find 100 jobs a day that's remote only that you can apply to. Okay, I'm going to tell you the secret. Like, you think every job that you apply to that doesn't say remote is actually not remote. That's not the case. I'm going to tell you that. I'll tell you that on the Fast Track program. Okay. All right. How do I send my resume so you can fix it? On Facebook, my email is pinned in the chat. It's daniel@dscds.com. daniel@dscds.com. Says my sound keeps going in and out. I hope you can hear me. All right. So I told you guys how much it is. Let me see if I can answer any of your questions. If I'm not in a position to relocate, not open to apply for positions that require a 1-hour commute. Okay. So Greg, you need to understand how the apply process works. Okay. Here's what I mean. You think that every job says on site means that you have to be on site. That is not the case. I want you to stop looking at things like they're absolute, and I want you to start looking at these things like they're preferences. Okay? The job I have, it was supposed to be on site. It's hybrid. The job I had before that was supposed to be on site. It ended up being 100% remote. Okay? These are preferences. I worked for a pediatric urgent care clinic company. I was a national, the multi-market recruiting manager, and we were hiring a CEO. The headquarters is in Texas. The CEO resides in Arizona. The former CEO lived in Texas. Stop thinking about it. These are preferences. These are not absolutes. You have to understand that. The candidate pool is much broader. Okay, so you have to understand that that's how it works. Okay, so we talked about the costs already. I verified with the company website before applying. That's good. You can do that. It's still a waste of your time to do that. There's a way for you to not have to go back and forth between the company's website to confirm that a job is actually open. You just have to filter the job board in a way that gives you a 99.9% chance that the jobs you are applying to are actually open. I tell people on the Fast Track program exactly how to do that. Okay. I know what's open. I know what's closed. It's very easy to tell because I know the higher timeline for every position. Gretchen says, thanks for all of your lives. I just secured a position. Congratulations, Gretchen. I appreciate that. And when people tell me that, I actually ring a bell here when they do that. So I appreciate it. Congratulations. Congratulations. So my team is hollering in the background as well. So thank you for sharing that information, Gretchen. I appreciate it. I usually apply late evening of the deadline, not way before. I stop doing that. Yeah, that's important. If you want to make sure your resume is positioned, that's a tricky game to play as well. The antidote is you have to apply to the right amount of jobs in order for you to get the opportunities. It's not when you apply to jobs. So even if you apply to jobs on time, what ends up happening is you still, if you don't apply to the right volume of jobs, you're not going to get called. You're not. Okay. If you have a question, you can leave it in the chat. I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. Okay. Over here on Instagram, I saw the questions. Okay. The growth. How do you answer the interview when core leadership takes interviews? I don't understand your question, so I can't answer it, but I'll be happy to answer it if you can give me a clarification. Can you talk about panel interviews? Yes. So let's talk about panel interviews. First of all, why do companies do panel interviews? The purpose of a panel is one or two things. One, the company is truly collaborative and they want to get more eyes on the person than just one individual. They're truly collaborative. That's one reason. Usually the second reason is the most popular reason. And that is the hiring manager, their manager really don't trust them to make a good hiring decision. So they have a group of individuals interview you because they don't trust the hiring manager to be the single decision maker. That's the primary reason. So how do you deal with it? When you're in a panel interview, ask everyone to introduce themselves to you with their title. Then the person who has the highest title has the most influence, and that's the person you need to focus your attention on. That's how you handle panel interviews. Okay? How do you get supervisory roles if you've never been supervisor of a team? All right. Let me explain to you how you do that. Okay? Everyone was not a supervisor at some point, but everyone who is a supervisor is usually a top performer. So when you become a top performer and you're self-managed, you can get the job done without supervision. That means you can teach someone else how to do the exact same thing because you have a systematic approach of getting things done. So if you're a high performer over time and you have a desire to teach someone else how to do the exact same thing or manage others doing the exact same thing, that's how you get supervisor positions, because everyone at some point was not a supervisor. Okay, that's how you answer that. That's how that works. Are you going to say this live? I would like to replay it it will be on my YouTube channel. Yes, I have several of my lives on my YouTube channel, so if you want to check that out, that'd be great. All right, if you have a question, I'll be happy to answer that question for you. Let me see what these questions are on TikTok. All right, so on TikTok, he's right. I also have a resume business. I assist clients with standing out. Okay. All right. All right. So looks like that's all the questions I can take because I have to go right now for a meeting. If you're interested in my Fast Track program, let me explain something to you. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead, right? So what that means is you can have faith, but if you don't take corresponding action as it relates to that faith, nothing is going to happen. So faith without taking action is of no good to you. I provided you with information over the last little more than an hour. I told you exactly what to do to get notice. I told you how to apply to jobs. I told you all of those things, right? You can take this information and do nothing with it. If that's the case, then this was just entertainment. I'm glad, hopefully you were entertained. If you don't use the information that I just shared with you and you don't take action on that information, nothing will change in your life. Nothing will change in your life. Action is the unlock. Action, using the right information, is the unlock to changing your life, elevating it, and taking it to the next level. If you don't do that, nothing will happen. So I encourage you to take action, right? It doesn't have to be with me. It could be with somebody else. But the bottom line is you need to figure out a way to fix what's broken in terms of your professional career. I'm here to help if you need it. You can reach out to me, Daniel@dscds.com, Daniel@dscds.com. Again, Daniel@dscds.com, or you can go to my website, dscds.com. You can leave me a DM with the word fast track if you're interested in information on the fast track program. You don't have to do anything with it, but if you want that information, I'll be happy to send it to you. Or you can email me the word fast track and I'll send you that. We have 3 spots open for today's fast track, and then if once those 3 spots are filled, we'll open up another 7 for next Monday. Thank you so much for joining live. I will talk to you guys soon.